This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
AB Supply, this is Richard.
Hey, Richard, it's Tim. I was just on chat with you.
All right. So it's hard to hear when someone says there's no way. So that's why I said maybe call. So the bottom line is, the reason there's no way is you've got a key that operates that, let's say, and you can get in. But what you can't do is pull the core out. In small format, and in large format for that matter, there's always more happening in the cylinder to account for the needed function of inserting and removing a core. In small format, that is an additional shear line. And what that means is you've got the cuts or the biddings on your operating key. There is then a different series of cuts, we call them biddings, for the control key. There's no way to determine what that control bidding is by only knowing the cuts on your operating key. There's mathematically several thousands of choices because there's only so many cuts and chambers, but it's impossible because it would be like looking at a cylinder and saying, what are the cuts on a key that will turn this? You have no way of knowing that. So if you're in a situation where you need to pull that out, if you can obviously get in. My suggestion is that you get rid of the housing and you throw all that away, because the only way to get that out is either someone picking it, it's not worth the cost for the person who can actually pick the control shear. Very difficult, or you've got to drill it out and then put a new core in with a new operating key and a new control key. In my opinion, take the rim housing off, toss it, start from scratch. New rim housing, new core, new control key, new operating keys. Or you do all of that and you have them keyed to the existing key. That would be okay too, because you're going to rekey it, and whomever is going to do the locksmithing will create the bidding for the control. You'll know what it is because they're going to write numbers down on a piece of paper and say, that's your control cut.
Okay.
It's heavy stuff. It's just, if we sat together like at the bench and I showed you how you load at one of those cores, you'd be like, oh, I get it. You don't know what pins to put, meaning you don't know what cuts, because there's a value, there's a constant. Hey, Barb, would you go outside and grab the Uber Eats? There's an amount that you have to allow for the control line, but there's really no way to know what that's going to end up being. It could be any cut. It's made up on the bottom pin, the control pin, and then the driver. All that has to equal 23. Like, because you don't know the cuts on the control, you don't know the control driver length. So, I didn't want to say can't do it. Walk away. It's impossible to know that data with what you have.
Okay. So our best bet, you're saying, is to just replace the cores in all of them and have our own control key made.
Well,
so I've got about 20 or 25 to 30 buildings that are all keyed the same. And the problem I have is that the other day somebody stuck a key in one of them and the entire cylinder came out.
Well, that's your control key.
Well, no. I tried the same key that they used, and it did not work again the second time. So I don't know how he did it or what made it happen, but it came out. I don't know if it was not inserted correctly or all the way, if the pin that holds it in was not turned all the way. I don't know how that happened.
There's only one way for that to happen. That's, and just, thank you, Barb. If you've ever read Tolkien's Silmarillion, the Lord of the Rings guy, the book is so over the top in terms of how difficult it is, you just got to go with the flow. So just go with the flow. The only way for this to work is if they took the operating key and cut all 5, 6, or 7 chambers, the exact same additional amount, like they added 5 to every cut, and that's your control key, because what you're doing at that point, since there's no difference in the in how much you've added to every cut, you could take an operating key, and sometimes that will pull back the control lug. And I know that because when I first, like 1991, taught myself how to do this with help from others, I'm like, why is this happening? And I realized, oh, hey, lazy guy, you're creating the control bitting wrong. You can't have it a uniform 5 or 6 or 10 in every position. You got to stagger it. Put a 9 here, put a 10 here, put a 9 here. They can't all be the same. So you could take that same person's key and see if you can kind of put it in there and get it to come back. It will if you play with it enough. You'll see that the control lug actually moves. That's bad locksmithing is what that is, if that's actually what happened.
Yeah.
That's wrong locksmithing. Now, there has to be someone who generated the system. You can't contact those people and say, hey, what do your records tell you? What's my control cut? I gotta have my control cut. It's not. Well, I thought you had one. I mean, you got lots. That's no good.
Yeah, and we had reached out to them and asked for a key, and the key that they sent us was just an operating key. So I don't know if they're not understanding what I'm needing or what. So I've just been trying to do my own research and find what I need.
Okay,
but
so
it's I'm coming up empty.
So what you could do is get a different locksmith. That different locksmith, if you get the right guy, they can means of destructive bypass. They can drill the face of that core to obliterate the control lug only. Then you're going to be able to hammer that core out. Then those pins can be dumped, removed. You can then mathematically figure out what the control is, because what you'll have in front of you is a known key that operates it. You'll know what those cuts are, therefore those pins. You can take those pins out of the equation. You'll have the driver pins there. You know the magic number is 23. Don't worry about why it's 23. It's 23. You can then, based on what you have in front of you, what you know is cut on the operating key, what you know to be the magic number of 23, you can determine the size of your drivers, and what's left over are your control pins, and then you can determine what that is. But you'll have to get the core out. If you can have that magic man come back and get that core out, all you got to do is dump the pins, and you can reverse engineer it. Then you have a control. You said everything was key to like, and if that's the case, they probably use the same control key everywhere. It's really unusual to use different control keys, but it does happen. Like on your Best Buys, they'll put a control key on the shed to the garbage cans, but that's not the same control key that'll get you in the store.
Yeah.
Because if you pull the core out, you're in.
I've got 10 of the cores sitting right here in front of me in a box that they sent me as extras, and they're all keyed the same. So
get that to a locksmith and say, I need you to tell me what the control cuts are. A locksmith that calls himself a locksmith, can either do it or will be willing to learn to do it. It's then there are tools for dumping the pins out, ejector pins, and there are blocks that hold all the pins, because reverse engineering is incredibly common to do. It's how it's done.
Yeah.
You could ship one of them to me. I can do it. And I'll do it for you. It's just, you can't drive here.
Right.
I
wish I
can.
could, because I need it yesterday.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Well.
You have everything you need now except the right locksmith. You might call your guy back and say, wait a minute, if I just talked to Rich over at Architectural Builders. If I got the operating key and I got a core open, why can't you reverse engineer this to tell me what the control bitting is? Because the person who could load those pins has to understand the formula, how you get to 23.
Right.
They have to understand that, and therefore they would understand what you're saying in reverse. Or maybe those people hired somebody. It happens all the time. Maybe your locksmith actually hired a different guy, because that different guy does small format all the time. And that's okay. If I didn't do it here, I would send it to the factory and have them do it.
Right. Okay. Well, at least you gave me some direction, and you kind of ended my wild goose chase a little bit. So.
Yeah. frankly, it would
at least
be
know
just
where to go from now.
It's either you find the locksmith to do it, or you decide I'm going to learn about small format today, and then we walk through it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, in 1991, that's exactly how I learned. I was flat-footed, didn't know nothing from nothing, and I just, you know what the thing is. You learn the first time when you pull the oil filter off first before you drain the oil.
That's right.
That's the wrong.
That's right.
You can tell I did that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Cool.
Good deal, man. I really appreciate your time. At least you gave me some direction here, and I can go from there. So I really appreciate it.
Reach out at any time, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.